Hi, I'm Chris, and today we'll be doing gear review. I recently picked up this pretty cheap, it's about $20 on Amazon, and I'll definitely provide the link below. The part number is the TP-FLTP, came in this longish box. So I picked this up because of the flexibility that the leg offers. It's different from the pod-like devices like a Gorilla Pod where you don't have quite so much flexibility with the Gorilla Pod. With this thing, it's one pretty smooth leg, or three smooth legs, and they're all as flexible as you want it to be, kind of like the Stretch Armstrongs of back in the day. And so the purpose is that I'm trying to mount the GoPro onto a wire type cage, and the wires are pretty thin, so the Gorilla Pod just doesn't really work that well there. It works, but it's not ideal, so decided to pick something else up to try a different tripod technology. So as you can see, with this tripod, three legs, it pops out, and from there you can position it as you want. It's very flexible, attach it to almost anything. So I'll show you, I'll be attaching a photo of what the setup looks like, and it works quite well. It is very flexible. So based on the quality of the product, it's a lot of plastic components. The legs feel nice and malleable. It of course remains to be seen how long the flexibility will last for. The mounting portion is very plastic. If you can hear that tapping, it feels like relatively cheap plastic. So we'll see how long it will hold up for. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the additional accessories that it came with. So it is designed for phones and GoPro devices, so it does come with a GoPro mount, GoPro thumb screw, and it also comes with a camera holder. I have tested this. This is large enough to hold a Pixel 2 XL, so that's a pretty large phone. I'm not sure if it'll hold something bigger like a Samsung Note. And it comes with a cold shoe adapter as well, so you can strap this onto a camera if you wanted to. And lastly, it comes with a ball head, so this provides some added flexibility. So the first thing that I noticed is that the thumb screw for the ball head, it's again pretty cheap plastic. This part is actually metal, so that's not bad. But yeah, it's pretty cheap plastic, and you can screw it down pretty tight, but I'm afraid to go tighter in case the plastic component breaks. But even once you have it screwed down, and I do have it torqued down pretty tight, but once it's screwed down, it still does have some movement to it. So there's no official standard weight rating for this particular tripod, but I would go ahead and assume that it won't hold the DSLR, and we'll take a look at if that is the case. So let's go ahead. So on this portion, if you don't attach the ball mount, this portion, this disc, it also rotates. So there is sort of a ball-like movement in there as well. So let's go ahead and compare it side by side. I do also have one of the original Joby pods, Gorilla Pods, and the part number on that one, let's take a quick look. This one is pretty old. So it's a Joby Gorilla Pod SLR zoom, and this was about, right now on Amazon, it's about $67. It's definitely sturdier. It's rated at 6.6 pounds, so you can pop on a DSLR and a lens, and it should hold. The ball mount mechanism is much sturdier. It does have a leveler built in as well if your camera doesn't have that. And so this is the thumb screw for the ball mount. As you can see, nice and large. It has a rubber grip on it, so it's easy to twist that and tighten it down nice and tight, and it doesn't really move. The ball is very secure. So you can see them side by side. They're about the same height. I do think that they serve different purposes. If I were to be traveling somewhere, I would probably bring the Joby Gorilla Pod just because it's probably a little bit more flexible, and if I do want to throw on my DSLR and I don't want to bring a big tripod, this should do the trick, and I've done this on many trips. So let's go ahead and do a real world test. I do have a Sony a6000 here. We'll pop it onto both and see how it holds. Alright, so we've got that screwed on. We'll tighten this portion down as much as we can. And so this actually isn't doing too bad. This is a... let's see. So you know what? This will actually hold a mirrorless DSLR at least. This is a Sony a6000 with a 50mm lens, and you can tell that it's really not going anywhere, so it's pretty good. So I might actually be able to travel with this. The legs are thinner, and so from a packing perspective, it's gonna take up less weight. I'm not, well, you know what? I'll pop it onto the Joby as well so you can see what that looks like in case you don't have a Joby and you want to see how that compares. So the other nice thing with the Joby is that it does have a quick release, so it makes it much easier to screw on. Alright. And ideally, if you have a coin, it does have a, or a screwdriver, you can tighten it down like that. So now that it's on, I can snap it on with a quick release. And that's how the Joby looks. So I will take probably the Sabrent, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, on my next trip just because it's going to be a little bit more backpack or suitcase friendly. Now, as I mentioned, this is designed for a GoPro, so that mounts and tightens down very easily. So I'll be back, and we'll give it a few weeks, see how the durability is, and we'll check in on the Sabrent and see if it's definitely worth your money. But for 20 bucks, a travel tripod like this that's got the flexibility, I think it's definitely worth it. Thanks, and see you next time.